Hey everybody, welcome to day 26 of my 60-day challenge. What I wanted to do today is kind of walk you through my process. Of course, it's always different for every track, every video, but for this one, I kind of wanted to show you some of the things that I use. This is Sonar that we're in. This is what I use to record and edit audio. This is Omnisphere, which is my go-to software synth. And what I'm doing right now is adding a MIDI track, the output of which will be Omnisphere. So I arm it for recording. I turn on the input echo, which means I'll be able to hear whatever sound I play. Now there's not a sound loaded up. That was kind of nasty. Dream Frontiers. That's deep and creamy. Now I'm playing a G on my keyboard because I have my Bawu here. I don't know if you could see that. And I want to be able to play a G pentatonic major mode. I think that's going to work. Let's try it. So now we're going to hit record. You're going to hear a metronome. And I don't actually need to play this in time. So what I'm going to do is stop that. And this is the beauty of MIDI. When I double click on that, here's my MIDI map. Here's my piano roll view, I should say. And what I'm going to do is extend this out. This is one long note because it's like a drone. I'm going to extend it out for 33 measures, because I happen to know that that's going to be about, oh, that's 1:36. Okay, that works. We're going to make this a little longer. And then what we do is we highlight both of these, and we're going to bounce this sound to a new track. All right, now, this is what our new track looks like. I usually like to name it after the sound that I used, just so I can remember what it was. Okay, let's add something to it. Can't just have that, although that would be enough. It could be good. We're going to create another MIDI track. Mute this so it doesn't play again. And now what I'm going to do is send this to channel 2. I realize this might be a lot for some of you, but at least you can see under the hood a little bit. I have 8 possible channels of synths that I can play at the same time. And what I'm going to do is, I'm thinking something with a bell in it. Here's the categories. Bode, oh, maybe Bode colors. There's some cool stuff in here, which may or may not work. This is a Bode bicycle. We got to give that a try. So now we're going to hear this. Scary. That's not exactly the feel I'm going for, so I'm going to move on. Crescendo of bowing light. Let that load up. I like that, but in the interest of time, I'm going to stay away from it because I don't have a lot of, I don't want to make you watch me adding things for too long. Let's go with the bells, my initial idea. Bells and chimes. I'm just going to add like an initial hit at the beginning to kind of set us up with something interesting. Let's try ambient cathedral drops. What does that sound like? It's a little too electronic. You're probably thinking right now that I should have planned this ahead of time, and you're probably right. But I wanted to wing it. That doesn't sound like it's the right note. kind of interesting. Let's just go for it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use that. And what I can do is quantize this just to keep things safe. I'm quantizing it to a whole note. Quantize means make it exactly in rhythm. And you can quantize 100%, or you can just quantize it a little bit. And what it's doing is moving the notes into rhythm, if that makes sense. What I'm going to do right now is just copy and paste, like so. It's kind of fun to listen to that as I'm going. All right, and we'll take out this last one. Whoops. And I'm going to add some rhythm to this. I think it needs some kind of looping rhythm. Now, I could create my own, and that would probably be the most intellectually satisfying or creatively satisfying. But in the interest of time, let's use Omnisphere's magic for that. Too dark. I guess Forces of Darkness should have told me that. You know what? For right now, we're just going to go ahead and add this. I think that's going to be pretty cool. And what we'll do is, same trick, we're going to extend this out. First, we'll just make sure it's right starting on the measure, because if it's not going to be in time. I'm going to actually make this go a little bit longer than the rest, so it extends out toward, past the other sounds. Hopefully that'll be good. All right, and I just want to see how this is going to end. And what I'll do is I'll fade that at the end. It's kind of a cool ending already, but I'll put a little bit, see, this is a little bit of a fade out. Let's make it a fast curve. In other words, it's going to slope down faster. So it goes just beyond. Now, if I want to get fussy, I'd probably say, well, just a little bit longer. And this is how you end up spending forever on a project. All the little details, all the little decisions you make. Okay, so we're going to leave that. We're going to insert another audio track. We don't need any of this anymore. I'm going to make this nice and big so you can see it in the video. And this is going to be our Bawu. Now, we're going to turn this around. Turn the beat around. And then get ready to record. So what I need to do is go turn on the light and the camera. So I'm recording already. I'm going to go ahead and say this is take 1, and then I'm going to hit R for record. I'm going to clap so that'll help me sync up the video later. And then we're going to wing it with the Bawu. See what happens. Okay, Now, I was not crazy about that. For one thing, my G on this instrument seems out of tune. So I have a couple different options. I can switch to a different flute. I've used my Bonsori a lot lately. This is where we can take up a lot of time trying stuff, which can be fun. Don't get me wrong. As long as I don't mess up that one note. This is a sort of an alto whistle. This is a B flat whistle. It's like a tin whistle that I've played on day one, actually, but this is much lower. It's not quite a low whistle, which I can show you some other time, but I'm liking this. So what I'm doing is, because it's in B flat, I'm getting like a G minor thing, which is not what I set out to do. I think I'm still recording over here. It's not what I set out to do, but it's working. I like it. So let's go with it. Okay, so I created a kind of natural decrescendo by moving away from the microphone, which maybe I could have done later in the box, so to speak. That was a pretty good take. Got to have a safety always. Of course, this can end up taking a lot of time. I don't know which camera to look at. But it's worth it to have at least two. Now, if I was making an audio recording, you could do what's called comping, which means I might take the best parts of each take. Because I'm making a continuous video, I'm trying to keep them continuous whenever possible. This has been kind of fun, and I hope it's going to be an interesting video for everybody that sees this. If you can slog through it, hopefully my final edit won't be too long and people will enjoy it. All right. Happy music making, everybody.